What's going on, guys? It's Stephen here from Digital Renovations. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and do 5 push-ups if you want to help me out and stay up to date with the latest videos here at Digital Renovations. Today we're going to be taking a look at Docker and how to get started with containers in a Windows environment. I'll be explaining what a container is, when you want to use a container, how Docker can help us with that, and then we'll run our first Docker image together. So let's start off with a container. What is a container? A container is its own little self-contained environment that holds everything you'd need to make an application run. It will have the code, libraries, settings, etc. It means that you're able to quickly and easily move an application in a stable state that you know will run from one system to another, and it will just work. The age-old adage of developers saying, well, it works on my machine, awesome. Now we can just ship the whole system. It also has the added benefit that each container is completely isolated from other containers, meaning that multiple applications can't interfere with each other. How are we actually going to apply this to the real world? It's one of those tools where you can really let your imagination run wild. So a few examples are going to be, if we want to consider a CI/CD pipeline, each stage of the pipeline can be set up with its own separate container to ensure that it's clean and consistent for code. A build stage container could have everything an environment requires to build the solution. The build commands can be automated to run. You can then confirm that the build was successful. For the testing stage, a fresh container can be used to test. It can include all your test framework and dependencies. The output from the build container can be used as an input, and then you can automate all your tests. If successful, you can move on to the deployment stage. Create your production environment requirements with a container, configure the application and dependencies, start and deploy your new container. Jenkins, a really popular CI/CD pipeline tool, integrates really nicely with Docker for its pipeline. I'll drop a link for that down below if you want to find out more. One of the other really cool things that you can look at is dev environments. Now, this is currently no longer under active development, but it is still supported. So what you can do here is create a pre-built developer environment. All the tools that you need, all the environment details already set up. No time spent getting up and running. If you break it, close it, start a fresh one. For engineering teams, this means that everyone can be working from a consistent environment that has all the dependencies. Everyone gets up and run nice and quickly, nice and easily, and it's super easy to change machines because you can just pick up your existing image and move it to a new device. The last example we're going to take a look at is web applications. This makes it super easy to build and share web applications. No need to worry about getting a client set up in the cloud or an on-prem environment. You set up the environment you want, build the container, ship it pre-configured to a customer. How can Docker be helping us with this? Docker is what you call a containerized platform. It lets you create, run, and manage your containers. It also has Docker Hub, which is sort of like a library of existing Docker containers which you can pull down and start using from the cloud. In enterprise environments, you can also have your own private libraries to make sharing and deploying containers easier. How do we get started? We're going to need to install Docker. You can do that from the Docker website. Just quickly jump in, download what you're looking for, run through the installation process. On Windows, you're going to need to do a restart once you're done. Once you've got that up and running, open the tool. Then let's jump into the command prompt. Now we're in the terminal, or command prompt. We're going to run our first container. Let's start by making sure that Docker is installed properly by typing docker --version. We've got a version number there, so we know it's up and running, or at least that it's installed. Next, we're going to type docker run, so that it knows that we want to run something within Docker. We're going to type -d for detached mode. That means that it's going to run in the background and not hog the command prompt. We're going to use -p to let it know that we want to publish or connect container ports to our local machine ports. So we're going to use port 8080 on our local environment and connect it to port 80 within our container. And lastly, we want to reference the Docker image. So the Docker image we're going to be using here is found at docker/welcome-to-docker. We'll hit enter. Boom, you can see that there's now a Docker reference up and running. If you have not run this before, which I imagine you have not, you're actually going to run through a process where it says that it can't find it locally and it's going to pull it down from the online repository. If then we want to look in the Docker desktop app, we will be able to see that we now have our Docker container up and running and the ports that it's using. Awesome. So how good is that? You've now got your first Docker container up and running. Docker is a fantastic tool. You can do a lot of things with it. We're definitely going to be unpacking more about it in future videos. So till then, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you found this video helpful and you want to find more content like this. If you've got any questions or anything that you want to see more on, please leave a comment down below and let me know. Till next time, have a good one.